This is Sean Hagan's Persuasive Speech. We got Brenna on camera. We got Casey. We got Jake. We got Matt. Matt, wave to the camera, please. There we go. And we got Ryan. We got 5. We're ready to roll. As many of you know, legalizing recreational marijuana is a hot topic in today's U.S. society. Why don't you want to legalize marijuana is the big burning question. Do you like high prison populations? Do you stand with a racist judicial system? Do you like millions of dollars being wasted on a harmful act? Or are you just a combination of all? America is falling behind on a global scale when it comes to the benefits that come along with legalizing recreational marijuana. Lowered prison populations, increased tax revenue, a whole new recreational industry will create social and economic opportunities on not only a local scale, but an entire national scale throughout the entire country. The United States National Legislature needs to wake up and come down from their own high and realize how much of a positive impact legalizing recreational marijuana will have on the United States and all the problems it will solve as a result. All right, first, let's take a look at the catastrophe known as the U.S. prison population. As many of you know, we have one of the worst incarcerated people per capita in the entire world, and a lot of that is non-violent crimes, of which a majority being drug-related, which most of are marijuana-related charges. With a prison population of over 2 million, 20% of that is for drug-related offenses. 2 million people are in prison, 20% of that is 400,000. Stephen Latow describes in an article depicting the wrongful imprisonment of harmless Americans that these 400,000 people are all in prison for harmless crimes. It's outrageous. By legalizing marijuana, we can liberate all these harmless people in prison on marijuana-related charges, thus lowering the prison population, the amount of money the U.S. government spends on prisons annually, and giving these people their lives back, most importantly. Police and law enforcement agencies can also shift their time and focus and energy to real issues such as violent crimes like assault, theft, homicide, murder, instead of people smoking a harmless plant and just simply minding their own business. The enforcement of marijuana laws also has disproportionately affected minorities and people of color, and this can be seen not any more clearly than the people in prison for marijuana-related charges. Black people are 3 times more likely to be charged for marijuana possession, according to an image from Human Rights Watch, when compared to whites caught with the same amount. The racial judicial system is one thing that can be just completely dismantled by legalizing recreational marijuana. Legalizing marijuana will be less people going to jail for marijuana, obviously, because it is now legal. Thus, our prison population will be lowered. It's not only social problems, such as prison populations and people of color being unequally targeted. It's also a major economic issue that marijuana being illegal has caused. Shifting marijuana from being an illegal substance to a legal recreational product could generate billions for the U.S. economy every year. $7.2 billion were generated from states with recreational marijuana in 2016 alone, according to Britannica's pro/con.org in an article showing both negative and positive effects of legalizing marijuana. This $7.2 billion, not million, billion, can be used on a variety of social aspects. It can be used, like in Denver, they have used this money for a variety of societal developments, anti-bullying campaigns, improved youth literacy efforts, school clubs. These have all been created and increased as a result of increased funding as a result of tax revenue in the state of Colorado. Legalizing marijuana can also, as many people know, causes a negative revenue aspect on the U.S. government's end. The war on drugs, most specifically. By legalizing recreational marijuana, we can transition this huge money pit known as the war on drugs into a huge moneymaker for legal marijuana operations and businesses. Thousands of jobs will be created. More work, better economy. It just sounds too good. Legalizing marijuana and taxing it in the United States can shift the focus and time from harmless people into the youth of the nation rather than just imprisoning people for almost the fun of it. America is so-called the land of the free, but when it comes to marijuana, it's not so much that way. We pride ourselves on being free to make informed and educational decisions of our own body, and marijuana usage should be no different, as it is essentially harmless when used responsibly. We send people to war against their will. We allow them to do other harmful acts, such as drinking and smoking tobacco. Why should marijuana be any different? By legalizing it, we can teach responsibility and good habits instead of having to sneak and lie and form bad habits. Another very important study that has been conducted by Philip Bourgeois in an article depicting the misconception often associated with marijuana being dangerous has proven that alcohol can be seen as more dangerous than marijuana. So why is one legal and one is not? That's a good question. The government needs to wake up and listen to science and not tradition. It's not the 1970s anymore. Let's move on. So many harmful downsides to something so harmless, it just doesn't make sense anymore. By now, you can see the numerous benefits that come along with legalizing marijuana vastly outweigh any negative outcomes of traditionally following ways to keep a substance that is essentially safer than alcohol outlawed. This prolonged, almost prohibition of marijuana has caused hundreds of thousands to be imprisoned, minorities to be prejudiced against, and just freedoms taken away from people who deserve them. Prison populations would be drastically decreased. Individuals would be free, and so would all of you. Free to do what you want with your body without fear of prosecution. It is time for the behind the times American legislature to come up to date and legalize marijuana and reap in all the benefits that come along with it instead of just continuing down this path of it's not good. For the best of the future, for the best of our youth, for the best of the nation, and for the best of you and me, let's change the course of history for the good of everyone. Let's legalize recreational marijuana and all the good side effects that will come as an outcome. Thank you.